I found a few things that needed to be changed in each of the programs that I've written. It's basically an addition that I wanted to add. The programs were not showing up in the taskbar, and I wanted to make sure that they showed up in the taskbar. So I had to do a little bit of research on Google and find out. It didn't take very long to find it, but all I had to do was add one line of code to each of the programs, and I added it in the public form one right after initialize component. I just added this line: show in taskbar equals true. And I did it for each of the programs, right, in the same exact location. And then all I did was, I ran, in the debug mode. Then I ran it in the release mode I pressed the arrow in debug. Then I pressed this arrow in release mode, like I do right here. And what it does is it makes sure that it still works and it runs and it functions. You can test it in both modes. Make sure in both, it compiles the code as well. It shows there's no errors, so it compiles the code for you. Then after that, I go to the calendar setup where this is my installer, and I had to do a rebuild on this. But what I found, when I select this, I have to right click and I have to press view file system. What I found was when I was rebuilding, I was getting an error on one of these. It couldn't find the icon. And my icon is here, but it was underlined blue. It couldn't find it. So I had to go and relocate it on the computer. It wasn't linking correctly in here to rebuild the file because I'd moved it. I changed it to a different directory. So if you have that problem, you'll have to relink any files that you've relinked. So you have to, everything needs to be, you have to have this folder added. I have my icons created, and you would have to do it for each of these that you've created an icon. But anyway, after that, then you can do a rebuild. All right here, it'll rebuild the installer. Now I'm just doing this to show you that it rebuilds with no errors. Earlier, I noticed an error on one of these, and I had to fix that. And you can see right here it says rebuild all, 2 succeeded, 0 failed. So it looks like it's okay. The next thing, I'm just going to lower this down here so you can see what I'm doing. The next thing that I would do, first you'd want to uninstall all of these. You can just go here and type add or remove, and you can see it's already showed up here. So I would press that. It will open up over here. You select which one you want to add or remove. And I've already done this. I'm not going to do it again, but I'll just pick one of them, board foot calculator. It's right here. So I would select that and I would say uninstall. And it would uninstall it for you. And then after you uninstall the program you wanted to uninstall, then you come over and then you would go over and, I'll show you where the files are first. You would have to right click on calendar setup, open folder in File Explorer. And mine are in the release folder because I built it up here where it says release. I built this in the release mode area. So I would go again. I would right click on this, select open folder in File Explorer, and I would go into the release. And here's my setup files. So you would create, your calendar folder over here, like I created a new calendar folder earlier, and I would just copy these and I'd move them over here. That's all. I'd copy and move them over here. I just did a rebuild. You just saw me do that. That's why the numbers are different. I just did this a few minutes ago and tested it at 334, and this is 355. So it's the same file. It's just I rebuilt it so you would see that. I also installed it, and I installed all of these with that same change, and I'm going to show you the difference. So now when I run these calendar of events, now you see it comes up here in the taskbar. So it shows up in the taskbar now. It wasn't doing that before, but I added a few things in here, like where I was at yesterday, stuff like that. That's pretty neat. That's where I was at yesterday. That's pretty neat. But yeah, I really turned y'all into the real FBI. I just want y'all to know that. You stupid people from Carter County and Ardmore and Medill, who you just mock me and laugh in my face. You're breaking a law, a federal law. You're kind of stupid. I'm a lot smarter than you give me credit for, you morons. Anyway, I bet you can't write C#. I bet you can't, learn it on your own like I did, right? But anyway, I'm smart enough to know that you're breaking the law. I'm smart enough to know that I got evidence and proof. I mean, if you just watch this, watch how people. This is in Pflugerville, Texas, in 2019. When I went to the police station in Lone Grove, they were trying to get this video from me. They were going to try to delete it. I remember the lady back there going like that because they could hear what the cops were saying. It was that long, dark-haired cop. It was a big fat cop from Lone Grove, but that was in Pflugerville. Two cars like that, and that's the cop inside. That he's an Intel Corporation cop. I got his license plate here. That's his license plate. What does it say? MMX1802 Texas plates. That was in 2019. That was around November 2019, the day before Thanksgiving. The day before Thanksgiving. He followed me all the way to Lone Grove, and then Lone Grove had it set up to where they were not going to be at their police station. I was told many years ago by Christopher Ian Christian. I got his picture somewhere, but people in Lone Grove know who. He told me exactly what they was going to do, and they did exactly what he said. When I was in downtown Dallas yesterday, people did exactly what they said they were going to do. If everybody knows what's going on, and why won't you tell the truth so I can leave? Are you just going to make me march down, Broadway in Ardmore, Oklahoma, so all your kids can spit in my face? Is that what's next? You're going to have your kids spit in my face? Because that's what it feels like. I hate you. Why don't you let me leave?